So we're driving down the Forks of the Credit Road. It's hilly, it's windy, it's hilly, it's windy. And there's 6 of us packed into Chevrolet Cavalier. And so it was uncomfortable. We had the music going, we're having a good time, and the driver was, driving a little bit fast, feeling the excitement. And so we're going up and down these hills, around these corners, around these bends, and we're getting close to the Forks of the Credit Road, or to the Martian Landing on the Forks of the Credit Road. And we run out of gas. And we were like, fuck, this is so shitty, because there's no gas stations open at night on the Forks of Credit Road. Closest one was off of the highway, which was the Highway 10, but that was still like even like maybe a 10-minute drive once you were on Highway 10, a 10-minute drive down Highway 10 till you got to the Petro-Canada. So who knows how long it would have taken to walk to 10 and then walk down 10 to get the gas and walk the gas back. And as we're sitting there at the side of the road, so close to the Martian Landing, we just start walking a little bit up the road, and we're like, what's that on the other side of the road in the ditch? There was just this big blob. It was dark out. And we go over, and 6 of us go over, 5 of us drunk, the driver wasn't. And there's this really big dead deer. We're standing there for a while, and then we notice, we're like, oh, must have got hit by a car or something. But there was no cuts or bruises or blood or anything. But then we noticed, after looking around it more, that it was bleeding out of its hindquarters, directly out of its ass, And we're like, that's weird. The deer is dead and bleeding out of its ass. And almost in quick succession of making this realization that the deer had been bleeding out of its ass, this dead deer, a truck pulls up on the other side of the road, like a pickup truck, and this guy gets out. Big white beard, yellow stains from smoking, in the white beard. Really small, dry, wrinkled eyes, really dark eyes, and a really serious look, cap, blue jean overalls. Pulls over, opens the door, comes over towards us, slowly across the road. I'm like, who is this guy, And we get really quiet. We're just teenagers. We don't know anything about anything, right? And we get really quiet, and he comes over and he's like, what you got here, boys? Someone says, well, it's a dead deer. And he's like, well, I can see that. He's like, what'd you suppose happened to it? And we're like, we don't know. We ran out of gas. We were walking 10 seconds, our car's right there, and we saw this. And he's like, oh, you don't say. You ran out of gas. And we're like, yeah. Would you be able to give us a lift to the gas station and back? And he's like, well, I can do you one better. He's like, I got some gas in the back of the pickup. He's like, why don't I give you the gas in exchange for a little help? And we're like, well, what kind of help, And he's like, well, why don't you help me get this carcass in the back of my truck, and, I'll fill you up so you can make with enough gas to get you to the gas station. We're like, all right, he's like, some more small talk, and he's sort of starts directing us. He's like, you grab that hoof, you grab that hoof, you grab that, you hold under the head, you grab the antlers, this sort of stuff. And he's like, on the count of 3, lift. 1, 2, 3, lift. And we lift up the deer, and we sort of shuffle across the road, and we do the old 1, 2, 3 into the truck. Deer goes up into the air, thud, lands in the back of the truck, and fluids spill out its ass. It was just spill, on impact. It was really weird. And we just all stood there for a moment, paused, and looked at these fluids. The old guy says, huh, what do you suppose that is? And we were all at this, just kind of freaked out by the whole situation. We didn't know how, we were in the middle of not a town, an escarpment with this one lone paved road. All the roads that connect with this road are dirt roads with names like 15th Concession, the 27th Side Road, Timmins Line, things like this, not roads. We knew how to get back to the one road that we knew that got back to Brampton. We didn't know where we were. There's no houses, it's trees and hills and rock faces and these sorts of things. And it was dark. And we didn't know this guy, and he was kind of weird, and we felt really uncomfortable, despite being drunk or whatever it was that we were. And so he fills up our gas, and he says, "Good night, boys." And as he turns on the car, gets in his car, turns it on, his lights go on, we notice he's got a gun rack in the back of his, in the back window of his pickup, and a Confederate flag. And, this is Brampton. This is, a suburb of Toronto in, southern Ontario. It's, it's not the southern states. Who has a Confederate flag in Ontario? Who has a gun rack? Well, I don't know. Is that even legal? Was that even legal in the mid-90s? I don't know. And so we were all kind of freaked out. We go back, we get in the car and turn the car on. The car starts and we start driving. And as soon as we start driving, the driver turns down the music just to observe the silence. And then somebody in the car says, "Whoa, that was fucking weird."